Oh, really? No.
Do it.
No.
Do it. Ridiculous.
I'm wondering where we're going with this.
How do other musicians even talk to you?
Why are we in black?
What kind of show is this?
They're totally inspiring.
I got hotel keys in every pocket. This was a Beachcombers episode. You ripped this off.
You are watching Stripped Down.
You are watching Stripped Down, Saskatchewan's only 1 hour local music showcase, the award-winning show that brings the venue to you in the comfort of your own living room. I am your host, Curtis Anderson. We got a big treat tonight, all the way from London, Ontario. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Stacey Zegers.
17, you were living just down the street. I see you out my window walking in my heart would skip a beat. First time you met, I told my mama you were the one. Then you asked me to dance underneath the setting sun. Years later, got 2 kids in a home. Now that we're just pretending, I think I'd rather be alone. So you sign the papers, pack your bags, say your goodbyes. This house is so empty, and that's when I realized that sometimes you have to lose to learn to fly. 5 years of dating, drinking, and one night stands. I'm back at this old house thinking, could you ever understand if I call you on the phone to say hi, see how you been? Maybe we could go for coffee just like old times again. And could I fly back into your arms tonight? Oh, I never knew this road would be so hard. Didn't think my tears would fall this far. Now you need a boat to cross my broken heart. And sometimes you have to lose to learn to fly. Well, I'll be flying back into your arms sometimes you have to lose to learn to fly. I'll be flying back into your arms tonight.
You're watching Stripped Down. We're spending 60 minutes with London, Ontario's own Stacey Zegers. Welcome to Stripped Down. Welcome to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Yes.
Never really been through Saskatchewan before, you were telling me?
No, yeah, I've been to every province except for Saskatchewan, and I absolutely love Saskatoon.
So is this your musical Saskatchewan debut?
Yes.
Thoughts
Yes,
on
this
that?
is. I love it here. I think it's amazing, and thank you so much for having me. This town is so cool, and I didn't realize that there was a big boom going on until I got here. We tried to stay in a hotel last night, and it was next to impossible. But yeah, I really love the vibe in this town. It's really cool.
There was no room at the inn. I'm sorry to hear that.
Exactly.
Tell me about the tour so far.
The tour has been great. I started in Ontario, did a bunch of radio down there. I released a single to radio this week, Canadian country radio. It's called Rules. I'm going to play it for you later.
Okay.
And played a show Friday night, did the 24-hour drive to Kenora to play a show Saturday night, pretty much got in town right away and have been driving and playing ever since. It's been good.
And you are touring with this album.
Yes.
That's Famous.
Yes.
And right off the bat, you told me you're not happy with the title. If you could go back in time.
If I could go back in time, I would change the... You know what? I guess I should say I don't really mind it, but a lot of people have asked me why, and like people in the industry, they're like, so you think you're famous, right? And I'm like, no, I just thought I chose a name off the album and made it the name of my album. But I do like the name just because it ended up with really cool artwork.
Yes.
Because the artwork could end up being something amazing and stand out. When I did my album, I told the artistic director, you know, I don't want people to be walking in Walmart or a store and everything just be the face. I wanted it to really stand out. So that I like.
So Famous is one of the songs
On the album, yes.
So why did you pick that one?
It's just a song I wrote about growing up on my farm back home in Ontario, but wanting something different. And I mean, fame can be anything to anyone. That's a name that we tie to celebrities. But you know, you can be a famous chef. You can be a famous, you know, tax attorney for all I know. So to me, fame is just something where you're put in a position where you have the voice and you have the power to change the world.
Well, we are honored you made a stop all the way from London, Ontario. It's
Thank
cool.
you.
Again, this is a Saskatchewan music show.
Yeah.
But any chance, any opportunity we have to get musicians from outside of Saskatchewan, we definitely jump on that and make arrangements. So
Awesome.
thank you for showing up today.
Yeah, and you
being
accommodated
our
me, which is
123rd episode.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. We brought the couches back out. This is the way the show looked for the first 16 we did.
Nice.
Because Stripped Down was an acoustic idea.
Yeah.
That myself and director Jay Neufeld put together back in February of 2008. It was always just supposed to be one person and a guitar.
Really?
Playing unplugged. But then people started showing up and
With
plugging
bands.
in, and we thought, okay, we'll try it. And then after a while, we got really good at it. And now it's kind of gone the other way, where we don't really have too many stripped down shows anymore.
Oh, so
But yeah, so this is actually what the first 16 looked like. We had the nice couches, and
cool.
I've heard complaints that they're not the most comfortable to play on, but you seem to be
They're
doing
fine.
okay.
It's good. I just have long legs, so I like being higher up. But this is totally cool, and thanks for having me.
All right, what are we going to hear tonight? Mostly stuff off the Famous CD?
A little bit of both, stuff off the album, and then I'm actually working on another album, so stuff working into that as well. When the last song you just heard, Learn to Fly, will be on the next album. Yeah, so, but maybe I'll sing Famous since we've been talking about it.
All right, before we do that, what was the first song? And what was the first song about, the one you kicked off the show with?
Sure. I actually wrote it with a friend of mine. Her name's Tracy from back in Ontario.
Okay.
And it was our first writing session. She came over to my house, and I was just like, tell me about your life. And she told me the story of like how her and her husband met when they were 17, and then they got divorced like 20 years later, because it's one of those things, high school love,
Yeah.
and then they ended up getting back together. So as she was telling me the story, I'm feverishly writing down everything she sang and making up a melody, and it's basically the story of her life. Is that song. So I really dig it, and unfortunately her mom passed away last week, so I've been singing it even more on this tour, just as in memory
Nice.
of
It
her
was a
mom.
beautiful song.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I guess we go to the controversial track.
It's
From
not
Famous?
controversial at all, but yes, Famous.
Okay, what is Famous about?
It's just a song that I wrote
said, about
growing up on
wanting
the
to
farm,
get
yeah,
off.
and wanting, you know, it's kind of hard when you live on a farm in the middle of nowhere, and I have very Dutch parents who are like, go to university and become a doctor. So this is sort of, that was a way, I wrote it a long time ago. It was one of the first songs I wrote, probably. Is a way for me to express how I felt about getting out and wanting to be on stage. And yeah.
All right, this is Stacey Zegers and Famous, the title track from the Famous CD. Take it away.
Thank you.
This road keeps winding. I don't know where it goes. That it takes me out of here to a place where nobody knows. Daddy was a farm boy, worked his days out in the land. Mama was his better half. She does the best that she can. Well, that's what they wanted, but that's just not me. I wanna be famous, live my life out on the stage, traveling the world, spreading peace, love. Oh, by the way, I wanna feel what it sounds like to have 1,000 people shout my name. trying to see if I can do this like nobody else. Well, I've come this far, there's no turning back. I wanna be famous, live my life out on the stage, traveling the world, spreading peace, love by the way. I wanna feel what it sounds like to have a million people shout my name. Yeah, I wanna be famous one day. One day, one day, one day. One day, one day, one day. I'll use my name and all that I am to show the world it's not for me, it's all for them. I wanna be famous, live my life out on the stage, traveling the world, spreading peace, love by the way. I feel what it sounds like to have somebody say that you changed my life, got you changed my life. Oh, you changed my life in all the right ways.
All right, London, Ontario's Stacey Zegers is gracing the Stripped Down stage tonight, and we're gearing up for our first commercial break. But just to close the discussion on the famous title of your famous CD, if you can go back in time, what would you rename it? You had another run at it, and you didn't want it to cause such controversy.
That's a good question. Probably Sunflower or
Sunflower?
Rules.
All right.
Yeah, it's more of a. It ended up being more of a mellow album than I expected it to be before I went into the recording studio. So,
You had thoughts of it being rocking?
Rockin', yeah, I had different thoughts in my head, but I still love the album. The producer still did an amazing job, but I think it's hard when you can produce an album in your head and you have no way of getting that out, so you just kind of...
Well, hold that thought, because I want to talk about the album, and I want to talk about the producers after our first commercial break, so stick around. We got lots more Stripped Down coming up right after this.
Perfect.
Life's supposed to be a good time too. It's not too late, it's not too late. And if you have some problems on the way, I can relate.
The following sponsors are proud to support local community programming on Shaw. Long and McQuaid, 721 43rd Street East, Saskatoon, 244-0509, or online at long-mcquaid.com. Ultimo Euromoto. (204 3rd Avenue South in downtown Saskatoon), 664-6640.
Mr. Sicily Pizza and Pasta is proud to sponsor community programming on Shaw TV. Mr. Sicily, located at the corner of 51st and Miller in the north end of Saskatoon. 975-0345.
Do you know where stuff goes once it's flushed down the toilet? It travels down pipes under our streets to a sewage treatment plant. There it is cleaned up through a variety of processes before it is sent back out in our lakes or rivers. The problem occurs when people flush things down the toilet like makeup, cleaning supplies, and some pharmaceuticals that the sewage treatment plant can't clean up. They are dumped untreated into our waterways, which other people depend on for their drinking water. Some cities continue to dump their sewage untreated into our waterways, while others are using innovative thinking to reuse sewage byproducts as fertilizer. What can you do? Be sure to properly dispose of any chemicals or unused medicine at your city's hazardous waste disposal site. It's our turn to take care of this planet, and I think we can do a better job. What do you think?
You are watching Strip Down, and my mind has just been blown. I swear we talk about the Water Aware Girl pretty much every other week on this show. We've been running those PSAs religiously since day one here on Strip Down. And there were times after the show we would all hop on the internet and try to figure out who she is and what she's up to these days. Stacey Zegers.
Just figured it out.
Is this serious, or are you messing with us?
I'm 99% sure that's who she is. She's actually a country singer. I don't know where she's from, Alberta, I think. Her name's Emily Taylor Adams, yeah.
I can hear the people in the control room cheering. This has seriously been like...
1, 2, 3, I told you it's a magic number.
Episode 123. Yeah, we're flashing lights now. We cracked the case. What's her name? I'm going to write it down. Emily?
Taylor Adams.
Taylor Adams. We always joked about having her on the show for some reason, but if she's actually a country musician, bam, there's episode 200 right there.
There you go.
We'll have this like
You're welcome,
fundraising
Emily.
bar to get Emily on the show. Man, that was incredible. That took the show places I didn't think it was going to go this week. Famous, let's talk about the creation of it. If we can get back on track, I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Famous, I have been writing since I was like 12 years old and playing guitar, and I just sort of got up into a point in my life where I thought now or never. So started calling producers, talking to producers. I bet you I talked to probably 50 of them, and a friend of mine hooked me up with a guy in Nashville, and we started talking and working together, and yeah, so it's just basically a collection of songs I've been writing my whole life, and sort of rather than trying to do songs that were necessarily radio hits or stuff like that, I just really wanted it to be an album that meant a ton to me, because if it was the only thing I ever did in my life, I wanted it to mean something to me, not to random people. So that doesn't sound good.
You worked with some pretty impressive people.
I did. I was really, really lucky. Justin Johnson was my producer's name. He actually has moved to England now. He had a ton of connections down there, called in a bunch of favors for this poor Ontario farm girl, and I'm really proud of the album, the way it turned out. So yeah, that was the process.
What was the biggest mind-blowing experience you had? Something you didn't think of, or something that surprised you when you were putting it together? What was what were you not prepared for?
Was I not prepared for? I think how quickly musicians in Nashville, and probably in Canada, I've never recorded here, so I don't really know, I'm assuming in Canada too, can put a song together. Like literally we would sit in the control room and play the song acoustic once, and they would say, okay, what vibe do you want? And I would say hard rockin', or the producer would have an idea for how he wanted it to sound, and then go into the studio. And for example, Famous on the album was one take, and it was really special. The song's about 5.5 minutes long, but at the end of the song, the piano player, Jimmy Nichols, just came back into it, and then the bass player came into it, and the steel guitar player, and everyone just came back into the song for like a minute outro, and it was just magic. It's
nice.
Yeah, recording is a cool thing. It's magic for sure to hear your songs really come to life.
We are 3 songs in now, so as we gear up for song number 3, is it from the album we're talking about, or are you going to go?
It is. It was kind of a fun song. It's called Talk is Cheap. It's a song that I started writing for a friend of mine who is getting married, and I was sort of thinking of her story, but it just kind of...
Talk is Cheap doesn't sound like a good marriage song.
Well, it's about showing the ways you love people.
Oh, okay.
So it's called Talk is Cheap. But,
why don't I just listen to it before I judge it? How about
there you
that?
go. There you go.
All right, take it away, Stacey.
No worries.
I met you when you caught my eye, a crowded bar and a glass of wine. I thought to myself, something's happening. Called all my girls and said I found someone. You were something different, so special from above. I don't know what you do, but baby, I'm into you. This is so much bigger than you and me. 'Cause when you're gone, I wish you were here. Outside it's spring all year. I wish I had the words to say just how I feel. But talk is cheap, so show you ways I love you. You and me, walking down the beach, a starry sky. I look around when you get down on one knee. You're looking up at me, you pull out a ring and say, when you're gone, I wish you were here. When we're outside, it's spring all year. I wish I had the words to say just how I feel. But talk is cheap, so I'll just show you ways I love you. When you're gone, I wish you were here. When we're outside, it's spring all year. I wish I had the words to say just how I feel. 'Cause when you're gone, I wish you were here. When we're outside, it's spring all year. I wish I had the words to say just how I feel. But talk is cheap, so I'll just show you ways I'll cook and clean and do all those things. 'Cause talk is cheap, so I'll just show you ways I love you.
A quick ending to the song. Okay,
There
I
you
get
go.
it now. I listened to it. It was another beautiful song.
Oh, thank you so
That
much,
one
Curtis.
again was called
Talk is cheap.
Written About Your
My friend, and then a little bit of my relationship. The throwing in of the cook and clean at the end was because I hate to cook and clean. But I do it because I love my boyfriend so much. And he appreciates it.
I'm impressed you actually made a physical CD. 'Cause
Yeah.
You look quite young, and a lot of the mindset of the next generation of singer-songwriters is just release it online.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you probably did both, but how
Yeah.
important was it to you to actually have a physical copy?
Well, I think it's one of those things where it's like a souvenir.
Yeah.
I feel like CDs have become a souvenir because you don't need them.
Yeah.
You can go online, pay your $10, get your album,
Yeah.
whatever. But when you're playing a show and some people really dig it and really love your sound and, you know, whatever, then they want something physical. It's like going to Niagara Falls or Saskatoon. You just want a souvenir of the experience. So that's where I feel CDs have gone, and that's why I felt important to make them. But
Well, I'm guessing too, like when you were young and you had this vision of being a singer-songwriter in your head, I mean, that was part of the dream, right? Is to have this in
Have
your hand. Like, this
CDs.
is you.
Well, it's one of those weird things because as much as I wanted to be a singer when I was growing up, it just really wasn't an option. Like it took me, I'm not old, but I mean, I didn't start till I was 22. So I'm not one of these artists who are like, there's a lot of 15, 16-year-old girls and guys who are doing it, and that's amazing. But to me, it wasn't really an option. So once I did it, I think I just sort of followed the protocol along with everything else, and I'm really glad I did it. It is hard to sell CDs these days. It's
Yeah.
one of those weird things, but I think it's important to people to have.
How rewarding is it when someone comes up after the show and buys a CD from
You know what? It's still really, really cool. I've been selling them for about a year now, and I mean, I still really appreciate when people want to buy CDs. And some people just want to buy CDs from independent artists to support that artist. So that always means a lot to me as well, because I try to do the same thing if I go to a concert and the band is amazing or whatever, and I really like the music, then I want to support the artist.
Again, if I could tell a story about myself, which may never have been done before on Strip Down, but I'm in the middle of moving
This
right
is a
now.
first. There
I'm
we
in the
go.
middle of moving right now, and the other night I was packing up my CD collection, and like you said, it accumulates quickly. It's something I never really think about. You know, do these once a week. I usually walk away with a graciously free CD, like I did again this week. But it was just like a diary. I had like over 100 independent artist CDs from just doing the show, and it was just like me sitting there not packing, just looking at each CD, going, "Oh man, this was like episode 30 something. That was so long ago." And oh, this guy, and oh, you know.
Yeah.
So that really made me happy. Really made me appreciate CDs all over again.
Yeah.
'Cause, it takes you back to where you were, like when you were all about that particular CD.
Exactly, I agree with you. And a lot of the times too, you know, if I play a full artist type singer-songwriter show, the people who who are purchasing the CDs are the ones who kind of come up to me and are like, I'm going through that same situation, like I'm going through a breakup or whatever, and you know, I want to buy your CD to hit whatever song on repeat and go through that situation. Like music is so cool because it's universal, right? We just, whatever emotions we're going through, we want to hear the song that kind of reflects that. So you're lucky to have that many CDs from indie artists.
Yay. On that note, let's go to song number 4.
Sure.
Let's go back to music. Where do we go for song number 4?
Let's see. I think I'm going to slow it down to a breakup song.
Okay.
Since I just mentioned it, I might as well stay with the theme. So this is a song I wrote last year. My boyfriend and I broke up after 5 years, and this was kind of my, I wrote you this song. We got back together. It's
okay. Must have had a lot of material for after 5 years.
I did.
It's like Bohemian Rhapsody length.
Exactly. There you go. 8-minute cry.
Then in year 2.
Cry songs. Yeah. So this is called Please Take Me With You.
Wasn't looking where I was driving till you stopped me on the street. You were thumbing for a new life, your sign said anywhere but here. So I pulled down and slowed over, said that I'd give you a ride. We laughed and talked for hours till the time that you arrived. And I found on my knees, and I beg God, please don't end it this way. There's so much I wanna say, so if you're leaving, please take me with you. Holding hands with each other, you asked me to be your wife. Skipping rocks on the lakeshore, making love with the moonrise. Now you say 5 years is a long time to be living on love. We both want different things. I wonder when love stopped being enough. And I fall on my knees and I beg God, please don't end it this way. There's so much I wanna say, so if you're leaving, please take me with you. And I fell on my knees and I beg God, please don't end it this way. There's so much I wanna say. I don't wanna fall apart. I don't want no brand new start. I don't wanna lay in bed at night wishing you would hold me tight. So if you're leaving, please take me with you. I said if you're leaving, I wanna go with you. So if you're leaving, I wanna go.
You're watching Strip Down with Stacey Zegers, making the trip to Saskatchewan all the way from London, Ontario, but we have to gear up for our second commercial break, but stick around. We have lots more with Stacey coming up right after this.
My heart you stole, and this is my soul. My heart you stole.
My God, look at that.
Yeah, thank God she's a half a mile away. Huh?
She's loaded, boys. You gotta get out of here. It's full of explosives.
Children, come on.
Oh no. Bill, get out of here. Vince!
We're back in the school.
Please, get these children out of here. That ship is gonna blow. No!
Mr. Coleman.
Hurry! Hurry! You gotta get these people out of here. That ship is gonna blow. The train. What? People, get out of here. It's gonna blow up. Mission ship on fire. Stop train. Please, God, answer. Coleman, there's no time. The train's coming in towards Pier 6. I've got to warn you. Come on, Vince, come on. There are 700 people aboard it. I've got to stop it. Come on, acknowledge.
Halifax was devastated. 9,000 wounded, 2,000 dead, including Vince Coleman, dispatcher.
Mr. Sicily Pizza and Pasta is proud to sponsor community programming on Shaw TV. Mr. Sicily, located at the corner of 51st and Miller in the north end of Saskatoon. 975-0345.
And we're back. We're spending 60 minutes with Stacey Zegers, all the way from London, Ontario. Are you enjoying the tour so far?
Loving it.
Not
It's
actually,
hilarious.
not actually stopping to play anywhere in Saskatoon other than Strip Down.
I wish I was.
Your one Saskatoon date is Strip Down.
Exactly.
That's pretty flattering for us. Thank you again.
It was worth it. Full out worth the drive. No offense to Regina, but I heard Saskatoon was gorgeous.
Oh,
Glad to come here.
I apologize to all our Regina viewers out there. She doesn't
That's what I
mean
was
that.
told.
Regina is just, yeah, we've got a weird Saskatoon-Regina rivalry going on.
Is there?
Yeah, I don't get it.
It's the two big cities.
I spent a lot of weekends in Regina. I love it there. But yeah, you ask anybody from Regina and Saskatoon's horrible and vice versa. But
So whoever I talk to.
Can't we all just be brothers?
There you go.
Okay. How did you hear about Strip Down? It was from a mutual musician friend, right?
Yeah, Cody Prevost, who
Cody-
is amazing, and I
Yes.
love him. And I wrote a song together a little while ago, and was coming through town and texted him and said, "Do you have any suggestions?" And he suggested you, so I'm very, very glad that he did.
I love Cody Prevost. He's been on the show twice before.
Has he?
And yeah, again, I know I've told the story all the time, but we did this like marathon season for last season, season 3.
Mhm.
We thought let's start in September and let's do a new one every week until July, and we did it. We took 2 weeks off over Christmas. We did 43 episodes that season.
That's amazing.
And we cut it pretty close. Some weeks people would bail at the last minute. And one week someone bailed. I called Cody and he was like, well, I have band practice at 5:30 and I have a phone interview at 4:15, but I could probably slide in that hour. And he did. He came and he did his phone interview on the set. And then he was like, all right, thanks, bye. And then we did our countdown and did the show.
Nice.
So that's pretty hardcore. And Cody Prevost doesn't need to do that, right? Like Cody
No,
Prevost is a pretty
he's
big
good.
name. I
Yeah.
can't remember. I think he's won an award or two in the last couple of years.
Maybe one. I don't
Maybe
know.
one, yeah. He's
like,
won like 30.
He's the Saskatchewan country artist. Yes.
And as
Fan choice every
as
year.
I alluded to off the top of the hour, we love it when musicians from outside of Saskatchewan come on to the Saskatchewan Music Showcase. And we seem to have some sort of weird connection with the females from Ontario. You're on the show now?
Yes.
We've had Amanda Rayome.
Who I know of.
We've had Natasha Alexandra. Do you know NLX? She's friends with...
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
That was
I-
dramatic.
I don't know her, but I've
You
heard
know
of her.
Yeah,
Yes.
she flew up from New York to be our 100th episode.
Cool.
So yeah,
Very cool.
we've got our little target, audience out there, support out in London, Ontario.
the
So-
women.
So thank you for
representing.
that.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, if you can go back and be an ambassador of the show, and anytime anybody
I
else,
will.
guy or girl, is passing through,
I'll send them your way.
let us know. All right,
Definitely worth the stop.
we are on the second half of the show, so we should probably get to more music.
Yeah.
Song
do
number
it.
5.
This song is called "What Are You Waiting For?" and it's about cheating. The suspicion of cheating.
The suspicion of cheating. Your songs are all over the place. I love it.
Yeah.
All
That's
right.
okay.
Stacey Zegers.
Thank you.
Oh, I can now answer you when I saw you talking to her. Well, you run over saying, baby, it's innocent, but I'm no fool. 'Cause I haven't found you, I haven't caught you, and there's no proof. But I'll keep waiting, anticipating, watch what you do. 'Cause if I'm not the one, you're out having fun. Don't expect me to follow you to the end. I heard it's going down, I won't be around for long. Good things happen to those who wait I can't find you, smell her perfume. Wonder where you are, why you hiding while we ride in this house so long. Well, I guess my time, this might be the night I'll spend all alone. If I'm not the one you're out having fun, don't expect me to follow you to the end. Heard it's going down, I won't be around for long. Good things happen to those who wait, so what are we waiting for? If I'm not the one you're out having fun, don't expect me to follow you to the end. Now, heard what's going down, I won't be around for long. Good things happen to those who wait, so what are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Hey!
Stacey Zegers on Stripped Down tonight. That one had a little more kick to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a pretty fun song to play. You were
It
kind
is
of
a fun song.
Yeah. So are these, when you perform them when you're not on tour in a stripped down fashion, do you full band them or?
I do full band them,
Yep.
yeah. And I don't do as many of the slower stuff that I did at the beginning. My band is pretty high energy, and so I'll have to come back one day with my band so you can see the
Yes. Well, I saw
Opposite.
the Stacey Zegers band is
Yes.
different from Stacey Zegers. There's like, is that you jumping up and down in the picture?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's me, and then, but I guess I just put it on Facebook as Stacey Zegers Band, yes. But we tour a lot. I'm actually playing in Alberta with a full band,
Okay.
but some of the shows that I'm doing are acoustic as well. So.
Well, if you run into the water-aware girl, tell her we're looking for her.
I
when you're in
will.
Alberta.
I hope that is her now that I said her name.
Yes, there's a little bit of controversy
There's
during the
controversy.
commercial break. We're
We
not
looked her
sure
up.
if Emily Taylor Adams was the water-aware girl
She
or not.
looks a lot like
But
her.
rest assured, I have all summer to do my research, and we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll have your answers by the 5th season of Stripped Down, which
There
will
you
start
go.
in September. Usually people come on and they're like, I'm so nervous, I've never been on TV before. You didn't say that, because you've been on TV before.
I've been on TV a time or two.
CMT, hey?
CMT, yeah. I was lucky enough in 2009 to be on twice. I was top 5 for casting call. They were looking for a new interviewer, so I was in your position for a couple months. And then...
Is that why you're looking at me the whole episode thinking, like, are you judging me? Am I doing a bad job?
No,
Okay.
I want to ask you questions, actually, and I need to bite my tongue. We'll have to do that after.
We
I
could
guess.
reverse
Get
roles.
to know each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
there
not
you
going
go.
to sing, though. But.
Oh yeah, true. And then I was on Karaoke Star, so it was like
Okay.
a Canada-wide search. I submitted a video online, didn't think anything of it. There was like 350 other people who did as well, and I was the most voted in online. So
Oh, congratulations on that.
yeah, that was really cool. They sent us to Banff, and we sang live on TV, and it was cool.
Nice.
It was a good
CMT,
experience.
pretty cool experience overall.
Yeah, exactly. It was really fun. It was a fun summer. Lots of voting though. We had to vote ourselves online. So there went
Another
that
thing
summer.
musicians usually say when they first walk into the Stripped Down studio each and every week is they go, wow, it looks a lot bigger on TV. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'm guessing you didn't say it, so CMT studios must be like a closet.
No, I've been in a few studios, but I just appreciate being here.
Nice.
It is a big space.
Hooray.
Yes.
Okay. We are burning through time, so let's start pitching towards song number 6.
Sure.
Again, as I alluded to before, you're all over the map with your songwriting, which I
am.
love. The songs that I think are going to sound sad are like really rocking, and you're
you
throwing me
go.
for some loops. You're unpredictable. So,
Excellent.
where is song number 6 taking us? Are we going back to the album? Or are you going to tease something that may be on the upcoming follow-up album?
How about we do this? Do you want to hear a fast song or a slow song?
It's not my hour. I want to hear both, so...
Okay. Well, I'll do a fast song and then a slow song next set. I'll call it. So this is a song called "Living the Dream." I actually released it to radio last year, and it's about the fact that I'm on the road so much that I pretty much live out of my car. So the idea behind it was we didn't want to necessarily make it about being a musician, because
Yeah.
I feel like maybe sometimes there's too much of that. So if you want to be a chef or a doctor or whatever, chances are when you're first starting out, you're doing what you love to do, but you're sort of living below the poverty line. So this is called living the dream.
Yes, you're far from famous. Far from famous.
There
right?
you go. Yeah.
All right, take it away.
Thank you.
Looking back to when I was a kid, no one knew the road like me and my dad. We knew everything over those 18 wheels. He said, girl, if I gave you some advice, do what you love and don't you think twice. It's a long, hard road the first time around. Living the dream, trying to make my story. These white lines and open spaces keep me reaching for the stars. $5 a day, I'm really on my way. I'm living the dream. In reality, it seems I'm living in my car. All alone, now I'm driving out west. I've done every job, now I'm catching my breath. I've seen everything this road can give. I've been to a place that's back in time, when living my dreams were far out of sight. No need to find one place, the road is where I belong. Living the dream, trying to make my story. These white lines and open spaces keep me reaching for the stars. $5 a day, I'm really on my way. I'm living that dream. In reality, it seems I'm living in my car. Living the dream, trying to make my story. These white lines and open spaces keep me reaching for the stars. $5 a day, oh, I'm really on my way. I'm living the dream. In reality, it seems I'm living in my car. I'm living the dream. In reality, it seems I'm living in my car. Ooh.
You're watching Stripped Down with London, Ontario's Stacey Zegers. I was listening to you play that song, and I was reading over some more of the stuff you printed, and I've got to tread lightly. I don't want to get in trouble going here, but
Trend, yes.
you know, here at Stripped Down, we don't discriminate, or we'll take any musical genre, any band, solo artist. So we see it all, right? We see the rappers and the rock stars and everything. And
Yeah.
I just have to say, whenever we get a country musician come through here, I don't know if you qualify yourself or call yourself a full-on country musician, but I'm always impressed by just the actual quality of people the country musicians are.
Oh, thank
Like,
you.
you have a whole thing written about your dad.
Oh, my blog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I
He's a
look
good
at
person.
so many musician websites that are just all like, you know, girls vamped out and, you know,
Yeah.
fronting and trying to have that image. And here you've written like just a beautiful couple paragraphs about your father.
Thank
It was
you.
really, really kind of, I don't want to say a breath of fresh air, but just made me go, right, she's a country musician. So, guy who works 16-hour days.
Yeah. Well, it
know,
just blew
never,
me away.
Never let on if money was tight, still took you out for breakfast because you only live once and you can't take it with you. your father makes you a better person. Like, that's beautiful to
You're
write.
gonna make me cry.
I know, you're making me cry.
True. He's a really, really good person. And honestly, when I first started out music, I probably am gonna cry. He's really the only one who was like, go for it. So, thanks, Dad.
I mean, that must
Great,
have
I
been,
didn't want to come here and cry.
it must have been inspiring watching, you know, someone work 16-hour days, knowing that,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, the
what
thing is,
you're going to have to do if you're going to want to make it as a musician is work
Yeah.
those crazy long hours too. So.
exactly. The blog he's talking about, I wrote a few weeks ago, actually, on my website, staceyzegers.com, and I was just reflecting on the fact that, you know, 30 years ago, he immigrated from Holland to Canada and worked literally 5 a.m. to like 5 p.m. When he's in the field, he works sometimes longer, and he had pigs, so you had to get up and feed them and all that stuff. And about a year ago, pork prices were really, really bad, and he almost lost the farm. So I was just really nostalgic thinking about him, because as a musician, sometimes you're in very similar positions. It's extremely hard to be a musician and actually make a living at it. Tons of people have a day job. I don't actually have a day job, so everything, my bread and butter is making music. So I was just kind of thinking about him one day and considering giving it up, not really considering giving it up, but just he really inspires me in that aspect, and I don't thank him enough. And he doesn't really go on the internet, so he doesn't know that I write these things about him, but I've written a couple blogs about my dad, and he's a good man.
Well, if television's taught me anything, he obviously expected you to grow up and take over the farm, and you guys had this like argument, right? And then he came around and was like, you dream your own dreams, because that happens in like every single show I've ever watched. So.
Well, very close actually. He was
Really?
very much, he has 3 daughters, so he's like, I'd love it if you guys were farming, but you're girls.
And you guys were like, 1, 2, 3, oh!
Well, this is what happened, is my oldest sister, she traveled the world and went to school for politics or something, and came around and she bought a farm this year.
Nice.
Right down the road from my dad. She's doing organics, so he's like, can I swear on the show? I'm not
Go
going
for
to.
it.
I was going to say he's like a pig in shit. He's happy. And I, when I'm not doing music, because thankfully I just play on the weekends, I get to go down there and help them out. So I'm home a ton right now helping out my sister on the farm, and it's great.
Best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm glad we had that conversation.
Thank you.
That was cool.
Thank you.
So your dad still inspires you?
Yeah, he's amazing.
Nice.
Yes.
Awesome. On that note, we have to take our final commercial break, but stick around because we wrap things up with Stacey Zegers right after this.
To your boys, if it makes a difference, standing in out of choice, I'll glad.
The following sponsors are proud to support local community programming on Shaw. Long and McQuaid, 721 43rd Street East, Saskatoon, 244-0509, or online at long-mcquaid.com. Ultimo Euromoto, 204 3rd Avenue South in downtown Saskatoon, 664-6640.
Mr. Sicily Pizza and Pasta is proud to sponsor community programming on Shaw TV. Mr. Sicily, located at the corner of 51st and Miller in the north end of Saskatoon. 975-0345.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stacey Zegers.
There's one in every class, there's one in every school. She's not hot at all, but she knows she's no fool. In the mean words from the pretty girls come in waves that just won't go away, but they roll right off her back because she knows who she is. Sunflower in a field today. one thing for sure, she's not the same. She's a sunflower in a field of dandelions. And when the rain comes out, there's a circle around her where the sun still shines. And every seed is a sign of things to come, and they all come from inside. A sunflower, she's a sunflower. She's a sunflower.
We are wrapping things up with Stacey Zegers, who is in Saskatoon all the way from London, Ontario. Again, this is Strip Down's 123rd episode. We have one more in-studio show, and then we're going to try to figure out something crazy to do for the season finale. So kind of unofficially the second last show of the season tonight.
Awesome.
Thanks for making the trip.
And it's a lucky number, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it is, and we got to the bottom of the Water
the
Girl
case.
mystery.
Yes.
Ever since episode 1, we've been playing those Water World PSAs, and we finally figured out that's Emily Taylor Adams.
Yes.
Have you heard her stuff? Like, have you met her? Or just
I don't think I've actually met her personally, but she's also a country artist, and I've
Nice.
seen her perform at. We have Canadian Country Music Awards every year, so she's played, I think, a time or two.
There it is. Well, enough about her. Let's get back to Stacey Zegers. Did you have fun tonight?
I did. I had a ton of fun. Thank you so much for having me.
What is next on your plate? You're going to finish the tour. Where are you headed?
Yeah, we're headed to Alberta, so I'm playing in High River and Calgary and Lake Louise and Jasper and all those fun places in the mountains, and then driving back. So this is just pretty much still the beginning of the tour. We have 2 weeks left.
Wow.
Yeah.
How hard is it to book a tour these days?
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of, I book everything, manage everything myself, so it's a lot of phone calls and Googling. Thank God for Googling,
Yeah.
because before people had the internet, I'm pretty sure they just got on the road and prayed to God somebody would let them play. Yeah, so lots of Googling.
In all fairness, that probably could have happened back then.
Yeah, exactly.
Where
And
that
you know
doesn't
what?
happen now.
I would have done that as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, lots of calling bars and asking if it's good to play. But the hardest thing is booking stuff during the week. So this is perfect.
All right, you're disc famous. You can get it online, but if you
Yeah.
want a physical copy, how do
If you
people
send me
do
an
that?
email, I will send you a copy. I've sent lots around the world, so it's
Nice.
works. Snail mail still works. It might take 6 weeks if I'm sending it to the States, but
Any timeline on the follow-up to Famous?
I'm not 100% sure. I'm just sort of, I want it to be the best possible album it can be. So who knows? I want to record it this year. I'm very busy. I'm touring 3 times this year. So hopefully, but I'm not promising anything. You'll just have to follow me on Facebook and Twitter and all those things and see what's happening.
All right, and the best way to find out what's happening for you is stacyzagers.com.
Yeah, or you can do facebook.com/Stacey Zegers Music. And actually on this tour, can't see them, but I have some friends with me, and we've been uploading. Some hilarious things have happened to us, so we've been uploading some good videos. So if you want to laugh, if you like to laugh, Facebook, CanadianCountryMusic.ca is a great website as well, where we have all our stuff on there.
All right, before we wrap things up again, I mentioned it's kind of the second or third last episode of Season 4. Next week we have Carnell Switzky. He's like a champion fiddle player. So it's going to be another nice big rocking show. So
Yeah.
I want to point out to young Jennifer Juba, who has been one of our volunteers since day one. This will be the last time she's here for a show with the old original set. But I'm not going to make her cry yet. We've got another week or two to make Jen properly cry, because she's going to Emily Carr.
Oh,
So
okay.
she'll be leaving our crew forever, which is sad. But again, we're 2 episodes away from
congratulations
that.
to her.
Yeah, congratulations for her.
Yeah.
On that note, we need to wrap things up. So thanks to tonight's cast and crew. Thanks to our sponsors, Long and McQuaid, Ultimo Uramoda, and Mr. Sicily's Pizza. For all things Strip Down, you can just Facebook Strip Down and make sure you like us, because that's what we could use, some more likes on the old Strip Down. And you need to go home and
I'll
tell
like you.
all your
do
all
like
your
you.
musician friends to like Strip Down and send some
will.
more our way from
I will,
from
for sure.
Ontario. But anyways, on that note, thank you so much.
Thank
For
you.
the last time tonight,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen, Stacey Zegers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey you, let's let's get the rules down here. 'Cause I don't wanna hear I need you. No pillow talk, we gotta make it clear. Let's make it clear this ain't no love thing. Wedding rings trying to fit. This is a one-stop, double shot. Friends with benefits. When I try somebody's heart gets in the way. Hold on down, boy, you're not here to stay, so take me. The way you get me, you'll get out of here. If you do me right, well, you could get another night. 'Cause if you wanna play the game, girls make the rules. Hey you, that's just the way it is, so get outside of your head. Don't you think for a minute that our moment was more than it is. 'Cause all it is a lovesick weakness, woman with needs. You're a joyride cowboy aiming to please. Don't go missing, let your heart get in the way. Hold on down, boy, I'm not here to stay, so take me. The way you get me, you'll get out of here. If you do me right, well, you could get another night. 'Cause if you wanna play the game, girls make the rules. This ain't no love thing, wedding rings trying to fit. This is a one-stop, double shot, friends with benefits. It's a lovely weakness, woman with needs, and you're a joyride cowboy aiming to please. Oh, so do me right, and you could get another night. 'Cause if you wanna play the game, if you wanna play the game, if you wanna play the game, girls make the rules.
His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best. His interviewing style is not the best. His personal appearance is not the best.